What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My wife and I like to go camping, and oftentimes we go to places that don't provide shore power. And even though we have a solar panel, a lot of times we still can't use it, whether there's too much shade or maybe it's a rainy day. So when I was asked to review this product, I jumped at the opportunity. Full disclosure, the item was sent to me for free. However, they're not paying me to review this product. So the opinion here is of my own. They were gracious enough to give me a discount code. It is down below in the description. Make sure you guys check it out. I also have an old car, and for some reason, there's a battery draw in it somewhere. I believe it's the top, and I don't drive it often because, for one, it's an old car, and two, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get stranded somewhere. So that's when this thing comes into play. This is the Andeman? This is the Andeman EP-155 Pro. Let's go ahead and open it up and check it out, see what we got. It comes in a really nice little carrying case. This is kind of sweet. Let's open it up and see what we got in here. It's very sturdy, by the way. I have a case very similar to this for my watches when I travel with it, so I like this thing. It's not super heavy, but it's definitely sturdy enough to keep it protected. I believe this also is like shock resistant, dust resistant, all that fun stuff. So, but you know, a little case to carry all the things is a nice little feature. Let's go ahead and take a look. See that right there? So on this side is the actual battery bank itself. I need to make sure that it's charged because we're going to be testing this with the car. But it looks like you also get, of course, let's see here, a USB-C. That's how you charge the battery pack. And then, of course, the important bit, which is the jumper cables. So you can actually jump your car. So it's a very nice, neat little package here that they give you. And it just kind of, you know, it kind of just goes in there like that, which is kind of sweet. And then the USB-C. And from my understanding that you can get a full charge in just under 2 hours. And the battery pack itself, oh, shows battery life already. 90%. Oh, there's an instruction booklet. Nice. It was hidden underneath the thing. According to the instructions on the box here, before starting the car, please make sure that the remaining power of the product is more than 60%. So at 90% means that I should be able to jump start my car. And I also read that you should be able to start your car up to 80 times on a single charge. That's kind of insane. They are rating this at 20,000 milliamps, which is it's a pretty giant battery. I don't know how else to say that, man. It's big. A couple nice features that it has is a flashlight. So let me see if I can turn this thing on. There you go. It has a flashlight, which is really nice. So, you know, if you're stranded on the side of the road and you need to change the tire out or something like that, like that's a really nice little feature to have. Got to hold it down to turn it off, I believe. Yep, very nice. So on the side here is where you plug in the jumper cable. Let's go ahead and plug it in. You can't mess this part up. They made it two different shapes so you don't plug anything in wrong, which would be extremely unfortunate. As soon as you do that, there's a little flashing light, which is kind of cool, which means it tells you that it's ready to go. So you probably don't want to touch these two ends together. When the little jumper cable pack is connected, it gives you some instructions here. It says when it's blinking green, that means that it's ready to be attached to the battery. When the connections are connected, it will just be green. And then when it's flashing really fast, I guess, that means that the connection timed out. Please reconnect to the positive and negative of the car. So I think it just turns off on its own, which is actually kind of a nice feature. And then red, that means that the battery is too low on this thing, but it also tells you in the front there, right? Because you need at least 60%. So we're gonna go ahead and disconnect that. And then on this side here at the top, so the opposite end of the flashlight, you have your USB-C, which is for charging the battery pack itself, and then two USB-As. So you can charge your phone, you can charge an iPad, stuff like that. And so if you want to know what your battery life is, just press the power button on the side. It kind of tells you it right there on the spot. So on a 15 watt charger, it takes about 4.5 hours. So if you have a higher wattage, it probably charges faster. Like I said earlier, it can charge a lot faster if you actually have a battery charger that can do that. If you're gonna use something really small, it's probably gonna take forever because 20,000 milliamps is a pretty hefty size battery. I'm actually not sure what the power button does. According to the instructions, it actually turns off and on if you hold it for 3 seconds, but I think it just turns off and on its own anyways, because I've plugged in a few things already to it to see if I need to just turn anything on, and it just starts charging things. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my iPad so you guys can see, or press the on button for a few, there it goes, yep. And just like that, it's charging. So if it can charge this, it can pretty much charge anything else that I have, which is really nice. So all I need it for is for my iPad and my phone anyways, especially when we're out on trips and things like that. So that's what I need it for, but you guys aren't here for that. You guys wanna see if this thing will actually start up my car, because I already lost 3% just trying to plug in my iPad. So let's go ahead and jump to my car and see, no pun intended, and see if this thing will actually start my car. All right, so this is my 93 Cadillac Alante. It's got a 4.6 liter V8. It's the first North Star that they made. And so it's the biggest engine that I have out of all the cars that I own, along with the biggest battery. So if it can jumpstart this car, it can jumpstart any of the cars that I own. I suspect the battery draw is from the motor that pulls down. There's like a little J-hook in the back of this window, and it pulls down. It uses the J-hook as a ground, and I believe that's just killing the battery if you let it sit for too long. So we're gonna go ahead and fire it up right now so I can show you guys that yes, this thing works, hopefully. To give this thing the best chance possible, I hope you guys can see that, I went on ahead and charged it to 100%. One thing I did notice though is that the battery meter is right there in the front, but the little light that blinks right there is on the back side. So this way is actually the proper way to kind of sit it down so you can see the status light. So it's kind of a design flaw, I think. They should have just made this little terminal here for the jumper cables the opposite way. That way you can see the blinking light on this side along with the battery percentage. So yeah, just a little tidbit for you guys. But we're gonna go ahead and plug this in after I show you guys that the car is in fact dead. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Just so you guys can see, it is hot as crap in this car. We're gonna go ahead and try to fire it up. Completely dead. So let's go ahead and let's fire it up. I'm trying to do this in one take here for you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and plug it in. I also noticed that this little thing, there's like a relay that ticks back and forth in it. And I think that's like a safety thing, but you guys will hear it in a second. So let's go ahead and plug up right there, and then the ground to this. Oh, there we go. It's not ticking this time. That's weird. Let's go ahead and fire this car up. Hey, look at that. Took it a second. I need to go ahead and unplug it because it says after about 30 seconds you need to unplug it. Let's go ahead and see how much battery was actually used up by this. So the little light is still green, so that's good. Let's go ahead and unplug it. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So we're now at 78%. So not bad. So you used about 22% of the battery to fire this thing up. So I'll take it. All right, so it's now showing 89%, which a second ago was showing 78. So I don't know if that thing's just inaccurate or what the heck is going on here, but you know, it did start the car, which is good. I don't think it'll start the car 80 more times, or 79 more times, I should say, but it did start the car. That's the purpose of it. It will get you home as long as you need it at least one time, maybe a couple times. I think it'll work. So as long as it'll get me home, that's a-okay in my book. Not too bad. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said earlier, a discount code is in the description below. Make sure you guys go check it out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.